All right, welcome back to the third and final installment of my go-tos for lower back pain. So far in this series, we've covered 3 different areas for you guys to trigger point or foam roll to help relieve some tension on typically tight muscles that pull on the lower back. We talked about some different muscles for you guys to lengthen through stretches. And today, we're gonna cover 3 different exercises for you guys to do to strengthen the muscles that pull on the lower back. So, the first one we're gonna cover is the dead bug. So all you guys are gonna need is just a spot on the floor. And like we talked about yesterday, typically low back pain is due to the quads and hip flexors pulling down on the pelvis, which in turn is going to crank on the low back and crank on the spine and shorten all those muscles of the lower back. So typically this anterior pelvic tilt is just crunching on everything back here. And if we can today strengthen our external obliques, they help pull our pelvis back to neutral. That way our back can be long again and back in a neutral position and not just being cranked on and leaned on all day. So what you're gonna do, go ahead and find yourself a spot on the floor. And what we're gonna do is use your external obliques and flex your abs to flatten your low back to the floor. And I don't just mean make contact with the floor, I mean pressure down onto the floor with your lower back. Don't let this come up. From there, your hands are reached up to the ceiling, head is flat on the floor, and then your feet are up on an invisible tabletop. From here, all you're gonna do is tap heels to the floor, so you're alternating legs, tap, 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 and the goal is to make sure nothing moves here as I tap my heels, and you don't lose that contact with the floor. So, lock that down, and if these heel taps are too easy, all you're gonna do, reach your leg out long, tap, and come up. And again, as you'll notice, nothing changes here with my torso. There's no extra reaching, there's no losing contact here. It's all locked down. And if I wanna make that even harder, I can lengthen my legs up, I can reach an opposite arm back, I can go both legs at once, and then it's really challenging because the lever gets longer. So, the whole goal with that, flex your abs hard, keep that contact with the ground with your lower back. All right, so exercise number 2. This is gonna be a quadruped hold or an all fours lift. So what you're gonna do for this one, hands are directly underneath your shoulders and knees directly underneath your hips. From there, you're gonna actively press away from the floor. Don't just sag through your shoulder blades, but actively press, and then you're gonna lift your knees, just barely off the floor. From here, we're just gonna hold strong, keep an active position. My knees are literally just floating. They're no longer in contact. And you can either hold here for time like a plank, or you can make it dynamic. So what you can do is press away, lift the knees, and then you can crawl opposite hand and opposite foot for a distance forward. You can go back. If you wanna make it really challenging, grab something around the house. Tissue box will do. If you got a yoga block, that'll work great as well. You're gonna place that on the back of your hips, and this is gonna check to see if you're stable here. So if I'm doing a lot of wobbling side to side, I'm gonna lose that block or that tissue box. If I'm doing a good job of actively pressing away and keeping my weight still, I should keep the box or the block balanced on my back. So again, another core exercise to help lock in that neutral pelvis and kind of tuck you more posteriorly out of that anterior tilt. Okay, third and final exercise. This is a modification of the Louis Simmons or West Side Barbell reverse hyper. So I'm gonna use a glute ham raise for this. Easy enough for you to use a table at home. All you're gonna do, hop up on your kitchen table, so that your legs are dangling. That's gonna be the most ideal position. That way gravity can put some traction down your spine as your legs hang here. And all you're gonna do for this exercise, hold on tight, squeeze your glutes, lift, come back down. So this is just a glute squeeze. You may feel a little low back here, but the goal is to primarily work your glutes. Make sure that it's a squeeze and lift and not a donkey kick. We don't want momentum. We want a controlled lift and then relax, come back down. Controlled lift, relax, come back down. So, those are your 3 exercises. Hot Florida garage. Those are your 3 exercises to strengthen the muscles that support the lower back. So now you have 3 areas to trigger point, you have 3 areas to stretch, and you have 3 exercises to strengthen. So, little advice for this. This is not something that you need to split up like every Monday I'm gonna do the stretches, every Tuesday I'm gonna do the trigger points. Doesn't matter, hit all of them every day. You can do any combination of them every day. This is not something you only need to do once a week. Repetition, repetition, repetition is what's gonna make this better. As you get stronger, add more reps here, hold your holds for longer. As you get more flexible, try to posture up more on those couch stretches and try and fold over a little bit more with a more perpendicular shin for the pigeon pose. So spend your time on these a little bit each day, goes a really long way. And comment below with what exercise you think is the hardest. Anyways, take care.